good. Hey,
Yay!
Sarah Catherine. Sarah Catherine's my helper tonight. Everybody needs a helper in life, and she's a fabulous one to have. So she is going to help me out tonight. Welcome, welcome. Let me get myself set up here. Ladies, I've got some notes, and ladies, and any gentlemen that might join us, I've got a few notes for us tonight. Don't think any of this has to be memorized because it doesn't. You can have notes. All right. I don't want to, it's just now 7 o'clock. So we're going to chat for a moment. Let me pull up the chat. Tonight is going to be interactive. Okay. So I'm actually going to ask some things of you that hopefully you will drop into the chat. I, some of you are in multiple you might be in a messenger chat. Okay. If you're in a messenger chat, you are having fun with a group as well already, and hopefully right now you're tuning in. Here's the fun thing. Many of you are going to be asked to screenshot me. Okay. Muted. Oh, it muted. You muted me. Sarah Catherine muted me. That was rude, ma'am. Ma'am, we don't mute the host, okay? No, yeah, if I get long-winded, Sarah Catherine's got the power to mute me. I see that now. I see that now. Okay, I'm going to change my view to the gallery. I like to see everybody so that I can see that. She is steadily letting people in. So that is what we are doing, guys. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Don't you love it when you're in a conference and that's what they do? They tell you where the bathrooms are, all those things. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a little housekeeping out of the way. I'm Paula Shiren. I'll chat more with you tonight, but I am your kind of, I don't know, host tonight. I guess I'm going to chat with you some tonight. You're going to hear mostly from me, but I do want this to be interactive. I'm going to ask you some questions along the way. Sarah Catherine is a moderator. It's a fancy word for you, Sarah Catherine. She is letting people into the group because apparently there are Zoom bombers, Zoom hackers. Are you aware of this? And they will hack into these Zooms and they'll like sabotage it and do a bunch of weird stuff. I don't really know, but we don't want any of that to happen. So we are, that is her role, is to keep any Zoom bad guys out and only good guys in. So, okay, guys. Yeah, somebody let me know if I'm watching to make sure I don't get muted again. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, and I will tell you, she's also going to be dropping a Google Doc into the comments. She's going to do that multiple times throughout because ladies will join and you can't see above if you join later. So she's going to be dropping that Google Doc into the comments. So just be watching for that. And then she will, at the end of this, you will be given a code word. You got to wait till the end, ladies. We're not dummies, okay? This is how you win that free impression bracelet, is just simply by filling out this Google Doc. This is the blue one. I'm obsessed with it. But you're going to win an impression bracelet for filling out that Google Doc, but you got to wait for the code word. Okay. Drop in the chat. Let's start our interaction. Drop in the chat. Where are you here from? I want to know that first of all, like, where are you tuning in from? Where are you at? Okay. So I'll chat a little bit about myself and where I'm from, but drop in the comments where you are tuning in from. So I am live in a small town in central Arkansas. My name is Paula Shiren. I am a senior division leader. I'm in my 5th year with Park Lane Jewelry. And I live in a very small town right outside of Little Rock, Arkansas, but in a small town. I've lived here for a long, long time. I've lived in Arkansas most of my life. I was actually born in Las Vegas, and then moved here when I was fairly young to Arkansas, hence the thick accent. Okay. I'm really aware of my thick accent. So we are, that's a little bit about me and where I'm from. I am a mother. Okay, I have 3 kids. I'll talk about them more in a moment because they kind of are part of my story. but I have 3 children. They are currently, my oldest is 23. Can I brag? He is a officer. He just graduated from college in May of this last year. He is now was commissioned into the United States Army as a second lieutenant. He is now stationed in, he's not stationed, he is deployed to Poland. And I have not seen him since Thanksgiving. So I have, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to see him in August, and as he will return to the United States. But that is my oldest, my son. So that's a little brag moment. My middle son is named Caleb. He is 20 and he is currently attending the University of Central Arkansas to become a physical therapist, exercise science, something along those lines. And then my baby girl is a junior in high school, Katie, and she is 17. I've been married for 25 years, got to celebrate our 25th anniversary on a Park Lane trip in St. Thomas, where John and I had honeymooned 25 years ago. Tell me God wasn't in all of that. So cool. We got to do that. And so we celebrated that. And what else? Oh, I'm a part-time school psychological examiner. So I do special education testing for special needs students and work with them on behavioral needs as well, and support teachers and do all of those things. I now work part-time. I've been able to do that, and I'll share a little bit more about how and why I'm able to work part-time. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's get chatting. So I told you that I'm starting my 5th year with Park Lane. Well, prior to Park Lane, I was actually part of another direct sales company. I don't know if direct sales is a word that you're familiar with, but that you are familiar with it, whether you're familiar with the word or not. So name a company that you shop with that is similar to Park Lane. So that it might be Pampered Chef, it might be Lime Life, it might be Rodan and Fields, it might be Color Street. All of those are direct sales companies, right? They all have this similar format. So tell us who else do you shop with besides Park Lane? Listen, we do too, okay? We're shopping with it too. We love direct sales. We completely support direct sales. It is literally a genius way to be able to do something and make an extra stream of income without, I don't have to go out and open a store or create a product or design something or market something. It's all done for us. So direct sales is a very smart way to get things out there. Now, here's the other thing, guys. What we're doing now in this online space is which it's really kind of cool. What we're doing in this online space now is what you're shopping with all the time. So how many of you, drop in the comments, influencer. Now we're not influencers, luckily we do Party Plan, but drop in the comments, influencer, if you have bought a product in the last 3 months, okay, because someone recommended it to you online, okay? I literally do it all the time. I'm very influenced by influencers, okay? Oh, thank goodness, I'm not alone. Looky there, y'all are with me, okay? We are very influenced by influencers. Somebody recommends something, skincare, eyelash, nails, stains, get stains from my carpet, something that's going to help with my gut health. I don't know. I'm in for all of it, right? And so that is the world we live in right now. We shop from TikTok shops and LTK links and from Amazon links. And so it's not that unusual for me to drop a link and share it with people. That is how we are shopping now. So for me to say, hey, here's my jewelry link, grab these earrings for Mother's Day, people get that. Like there's no explaining that, right? They get that. We shop online all the time and we shop from people's links. So that is what is really neat about direct sales. When I began in this direct sales industry, I did it on a whim and I did it because of the ease of it. I saw this catalog. This is old school. I did home shows for years, but I saw a catalog that I had been shopping from another jewelry company that's now closed. And I saw that catalog and I was like, bet my gal Charlotte's making some money doing this. And I needed some money for, at that time, Patrick was 15. He was going to be turning 16, and I needed a little money for a car for him, right? And so my goal was to make $4,000. Why? Because in the state of Arkansas, if you buy a car that's less than $4,000, you don't have to pay sales tax. And so we wanted to get him something that was fairly reliable, but also, just spoiler alert, he wrecked it twice in the first year and totaled it eventually. Nobody got hurt or anything. We got dropped from insurance, all the things. That's why you don't buy your kid a super expensive car, or at least I did not for him. He's very responsible now and has not had a wreck since he was 16. So good for him. But that is what I did. I did it on a whim. I was like, this is an easy way to make money fast. And that is literally the beauty of direct sales. It's flexible. I worked full time. I had 3 kids at home who were, 16, 13, and 10 years old. I have a busy life, active with my church, all those things. Like, I needed something I could layer in, and that is the beauty of direct sales. So what I loved about what I have done with jewelry is that jewelry is a very simple product. Now, let me fast forward to, I did that from 2016 to 2020. And in 2020, the company that I was working for closed. They closed their doors. The pandemic was probably the final nail in the coffin of a company that was trying. They were a 30-something-year-old company. They'd been around a long time, but they just had a lot of management changes, had tried to go affiliate. Well, they did go affiliate, all of those things that ultimately would lead to the company, closing its doors. So I really have loved, though, being a part of jewelry. Jewelry is simple. Jewelry doesn't require really much knowledge at all. And I say that because, like I told you, I'm the person that's like, oh, for my gut health or for my, skincare, is this going to help with wrinkles? But you got to know something to sell those things. Like, you got to understand probiotics, or you have to understand collagen and names of things. Like with jewelry, here, let me show you. This is what we do with jewelry. And when we say it's this simple, it really is. You watch your stylist do it all the time. We are like, ooh, you like it? Is it pretty? These are the Stardust earrings. How cute are they? We're going to do it. Okay, we got to do this real fast now that I've pulled these out. So we're going to switch gears. Let's go into jewelry mode. This is the fun of jewelry. Okay. So who is oohing and awing over my nude sky necklace? Okay. Drop nude in the comments. Just because that'll be fun to drop if you are loving this nude color. So sky has been around. Sky comes in that gorgeous blue, but now as stylists, we were able to earn it in this nude color, which is stunning. Okay. So gorgeous. Nude, 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 nude. What kind of Zoom is this, ladies? Settle down. Oh my word. I'm just kidding. Okay. So we are loving our nude. All right. But here's the deal. It is a statement necklace. I've paired it with the cocoa earrings. If you have not seen these gorgeous cocoa earrings, they are this enamel color in this nude color. This isn't really the camera I'm usually with. Gorgeous, beautiful. Okay, are you gonna have to mute everybody, Sir Catherine? I'll unmute if you do. Okay, mute me, girl, and I'll unmute. So here are the cocoa earrings, which are beautiful, but they're a little bit larger earring. Normally with a statement earring, I would suggest going with a smaller earring. So how beautiful would these, oh, that's not pretty, the Stardust earrings be? So now you vote, okay? Should I wear the Stardust earrings, which are a little bit more, that stud earring, or do you think the cocoa, even though they're a little bit larger hoop? Vote in the comments what you think. Cocoa, Stardust. Cocoa, Stardust. Okay. Able to talk about that is the fun of jewelry. That's the fun of jewelry. That's literally how easy it is. That's what we do in our VIP groups. That's what we do on our personal pages. We play in jewelry. So now I need to know. Okay, sorry, I'm having to look. Well, it's kind of evenly tied, so I think we're good to do either, really. But that really is the fun of jewelry. It just doesn't require much. Most people know what jewelry they like, what they're drawn to. We like to help people branch out. Maybe your stylist has helped you branch out into some other metal colors. Maybe you only wore silver and now you're wearing gold, or maybe you've paired some rose gold. Maybe now you've learned some tips and tricks on how to make an arm party and add that fun to it. We definitely get to have fun with jewelry, but it's not rocket science. Okay. When we're doing parties, you vote. What do you like? Put it in a cart, get it on sale. It's a great thing, right? So, yes. Oh, yes. So many things could go with the sky. So, that is the beauty of jewelry. Jewelry is also a great gift idea. Oftentimes, we will have customers that are buying the jewelry as a gift. We've got Mother's Day, graduation, confirmation, Easter. After that will be everything else that comes. It's never ending. And jewelry is also consumable, not edible, ladies, not edible, but consumable. Okay, we really do have customers that shop over and over and over. I don't want to out you in the comments. So let's just say it like this. If you're a customer, have you at least shopped 3 times with your, so like do 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7+. Okay, how many times have you shopped with your stylist? No shame, girls. No shame, ladies, and any gentlemen on here. No shame at all. Okay, so jewelry. I think we all know that it's fun, it's easy, it's simple. And again, we have customers that come back and buy more and more over and over again. I mean, they do that with our Sparkle Box subscription as well, where literally they're getting some fun sparkle in the mail each and every month, which is a reminder about us, who we are, all of those things. Park Lane. Let's chat about it. Let's chat about the difference with Park Lane. So I told you I was with a previous jewelry company. My goal was to sell $4,000 in that year to buy my son a car. We did it. Okay. We bought a little Nissan Altima. I made the $4,000. I was pretty dang proud of myself, to be real honest. I'd never done anything like this before. I have a degree in psychology. I don't have any sales experience. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was pretty stinking proud of myself for getting my family that $4,000 to buy him that vehicle, and us not having to kind of go into any debt or anything like that. So that was my experience at the previous company. Enjoyed it, had fun, learned a lot. When the doors closed, I was invited pretty quickly to a Park Lane party. Okay. Closed in December. In January, I was invited to a Park Lane party. I did not need not one piece of jewelry, not one. Okay. Because remember, I was just part of a jewelry company that had closed. So I had a ton of jewelry, a ton of stuff, but I ended up going to this party. Drop in the comments the word sale if you fell in love with the buy 2 get 4 of your more expensive items at half off. If that was the hook that made you be like, okay, I got to have a full cart now. And this is stylists and customers, right? Stylists and guests. We love that sale. Let's not even talk about bonus items. I mean, let's chat about them for a second. But I mean, when you can get super expensive items for $35 on top of that, it's super smart. Park Lane has been around 70 years this summer. They know what they are doing, okay? And it's evident because we all love shopping this sale. It is a smart way to shop. It makes it easy for hostesses to want to go ahead and invite their friends, because they know that nobody's going to pay their friends aren't going to have to pay $150 for this necklace when it drops, or whatever price it drops out. We actually don't know. But they're not going to have to pay $188. They're like, I would never. I'm not going to invite my friend and then say, hey, buy a $200 bracelet. I mean, maybe you're in a different, maybe you bougie and you can, but no, I'd be like, I can't have a party like that. But when you're like, I can invite my friends and they can get the more expensive items at half off, and then they can get these beautiful, high fashion, designer inspired, natural stone, beautiful, beautiful pieces for $35. Yeah, hostesses don't mind having a party because they want their friends to shop that kind of sale. So that was the other hook. So as soon as I finished at Jerry's party, this was my now my upline, but when I finished, I was like, well, I got to get a full cart. I mean, I got to take advantage of that whole stinking sale for sure. And then I turned around and wanted to hostess a party, of course, because the average is $400 in free jewelry. Well, I definitely had that on my list. And so I definitely wanted to hostess a party. And then just like I had done with Premier, on a whim, I decided I'm gonna try this. I mean, Jerry was like, Polly, you just, Premier's not in there anymore. This is fun. We can do this. Like, we'll learn this together. She was brand new too. Let's try this. And so I was like, okay. I mean, that's how I am. I'm like, what do you have to lose? Because that is the best part too about when you do something like this is it's a very low risk situation. Let me just do a quick scroll, ladies. Let me just scroll up for a minute. 1 to 3, 3 to 4, 7, 8, 4, 8, 4 to 6. This is important information that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. So we definitely know that having a party is a fun, smart way to get a lot of jewelry. So I wanted to do that. And then on a whim, I was like, I'm going to try this because honestly, what's the worst that could happen? I'm going to spend, what I would spend on a cart anyway. I'm going to join this company.
Family ties. It is definitely a family.
To do this and have some fun with it. If I don't, I'll have, at that time, 500, or I don't remember what I signed up for, $1,000 in jewelry or whatever, and no harm, no foul. It'll be worth giving it a try, right? So that's what I did. I had no idea what I had stepped into. None. That little decision would, I don't want to be dramatic, although I do tend to the dramatic, but I don't want to be dramatic saying this when I tell you it changed the trajectory of my life. That sounds dramatic, but I don't know how else to say it. Within a year, I had replaced my income where I'd worked a couple of dozen years for the school system. I'd replaced that income. My husband and I sat down that next year and we were like, is this real? Like, is this going to sustain? Is this really happening? I had grown a team. Within that first year, within 6 weeks, I'd earned a trip for 2 to Key West. I had joined the Mercedes car program. There's just so many perks to this. I was the #1 division sales leader in the world that first summer at Sparkle. It was like we couldn't believe what was happening. It was bananas. And so I made, John and I prayed about it. We made the decision for me to go part-time, to continue my love and my passion for working with special needs students, but also to be able to do this business. That was 2021. Okay. Fast forward now to 2024, 2025-ish year. We continue. So some of it is the question you may be asking yourself is, oh yeah, right out the gate, it was good, but it has stayed that way. I sell between, $70,000 to $80,000 in jewelry every year. That number seems insanely high to me. It doesn't touch the tip of the iceberg of what many women and men sell in this business. They are selling 100, 150, 200, 250, $300,000 in jewelry just on their personal sales alone. So I've been able to continue doing that. And I think that's important to say. If you have been doing this, if you're a stylist that's been doing this more than 3 years, drop in there 3 in the comments so that they can see some longevity here, that there are ladies that have been here. We continue to be here. We're doing this business. It's not just something that we tried for a few months. It worked well, and then we tanked afterwards. Because the question you're saying is, well, and here's the deal. Here's what the main thing people start asking is, but who? Like how? How do you continue to sell this for 5 years? I rarely ever sell to people that I know. Okay. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute because you're immediately going, my gosh, are your friends do they run when they see you coming? Are you always selling them? No, I rarely sell to people that I know. That's the beauty of Party Plan. And we'll get into that in a minute. So as a stylist, I jumped into this world that I had no idea. I did not know that you could earn 2 trips a year. You can, right? I didn't know that was possible. It is. Right now, we are working for Cancun, just got back from Cabo. Dublin before that, ladies went to Dublin. Paris, but went to Paris, took my son and my husband to Paris. Cabo, did I already say Cabo? St. Thomas, Key West. I don't remember. Tons. I didn't even know that was possible. The Mercedes car program, where you can either take $500 cash or $700 on a Mercedes lease. There's just lots of things. Free jewelry. You're seeing some of the free jewelry. Can we also ooh and ah over this new Asher bracelet that will be dropping? It is gorgeous. How I want this in every color. So there's free jewelry perks where we can earn through something we call RRC. Up to, $1,100-$1,200 in jewelry each and every month. Okay. So there's lots of perks that I didn't even know existed. Remember, I just did this on a whim. I didn't really think it through a whole lot because the cost investment is so small. So let's get into it. What is the cost investment? Well, it is $129. This is normally, we do have a special going on through Wednesday, but normally it's $129. You get $500 in jewelry. $229, you get $1,000 in jewelry, and $439, you get $2,000 in jewelry. That is jewelry of your choice. And right now through Wednesday, add another 100 to that. So 129, 600, 229, 1,100, 439, 2,100. Somebody help me if my math was wrong. So that is through Wednesday, which is a fun perk. But let's go back to it. I honestly don't think most people that it's the money that stops most people from trying something like this. Now, I'm not saying right now you may not have $129 in your bank account. I totally get that. That may maybe you have to wait till you get paid, or that happens for sure. But honestly, many of you, when you're dropping 4, 7, 9, 10 times that you have shopped with us, you've spent $129. Okay. I mean, you've dropped $129 a couple of times. And so I don't think it is that. Drop in the comments, stylist or customer, just so it's all blended together. What do you think stops most people from trying something like this? What do you think stops most people? I'm not saying it couldn't be the money. Perhaps it is, but I don't think that's it for most people. What do you think stops most people from trying something like this? And I don't think it's one answer, okay? I don't think it's one answer. But the question that we're sort of is asking is, can I do this? What you can't see that I can see doing this on year 5 is that I have seen women of all sizes, shapes, uh, parts of the country, little towns, extroverts, introverts, experienced. I've seen very experienced women come in through our direct to point program. If you've ever done anything and been a leader, Park Lane will honor that, and they will respect your leadership role and bring you in at a comparable level. So talk to your stylist, tell them if you have ever been part of a company like this where you have been a leader in that company, and we'll get you in touch with our national director. I've seen very experienced women come in and do fabulous with this. I've seen women who've never couldn't sell something at a garage, never even had a garage sale before, and now are just knocking the top out of this. I've seen women who are young do well. I've seen women who are an older and wiser do well. I have seen women of I can't name an area that I would be like, but this person couldn't do this, right? I just don't think that that is probably the case. I'm going to be really bold to say, I do think I'm going to name 3 things that I really do think you have to be able to try, not to try it, anybody could try it, but to really try it with some level of success. Okay. This is me. This is Paula Shiren. This isn't, I mean, I'm making this up, but this is what I've seen in my experience. I think the questions that you need to answer, and you got to answer at least 2. Yes. Okay. In my experience. Okay. Do you love the jewelry? Okay. Do you have a love of the jewelry? Right. Is that something, are you wanting to perhaps just be able to support your own jewelry habit? But do you love this jewelry? Is it something you enjoy purchasing yourself, sharing with friends? Okay, that's question number 1. It doesn't have to be answered yes. You actually don't have to love our jewelry to be able to share it, because it is such a universally thing that people wear, and you're not going to be hard pressed to find others that wear jewelry. You actually don't have to like the jewelry, but perhaps that is one question you can answer to yourself. Do you want an extra stream of income? Does having a little bit more money at the end of the month sound good to you? Is that your second thing? Stylist, I want you to drop in the comments what is something you are able to pay for or add to your budget because of your Park Lane income? Is it paying? I know some of the ladies on my team, they pay for private schools for their children. You might be paying for private. I have one who pays for some private lessons for her special needs son. It might be paying for a car payment. It might be paying a mortgage. I mean, it might be paying way big things, but what are you drop in that comment? So is that something you're wanting? You're like, yeah, I could use a little bit more money at the end of the month, and this would be a way to do it. And the third question I think you can ask is, are you willing to try something new? And that, if I look back, let me scroll back. That's what is where, fear. There it is, guys. Fear, time consuming. Okay, fair. That's a fair thing. It is, you do have to carve out some time. So that for Stephanie, that's one of those things where you would have to look at your own schedule. Do you have, I don't want to admit to it myself, but I may scroll a little more than I need to on certain days. I might be able to decrease my scrolling in order to fit in, 30 minutes. I have one stylist who just joined 3 months ago. She's a full-time teacher, raises her grandson, and also has a daughter who just had a child who's had some surgery, some heart issues. She has learned this system, and she literally will share it's wash, rinse, repeat. There is absolutely a learning curve to it, but once you have it going, you're good to go. Fear, scared of the unknown, who to sell to. That's a good one, Clarissa. Fear of failure, fear. Oh gosh. How can I speak to your heart, guys? Fear is a liar. Okay. Fear will keep us from doing so many things, but I get it. Don't think that I'm judging that, because fear is the most powerful weapon that is used against me to stop me from doing things. So I totally get that. But let's talk about that. Of those 3, if you could answer yes to 2 of those, do you love the jewelry? Do you want an extra stream of income, or are you willing to try something new? I think you can do this. I really do. And again, there's not a whole lot to lose by trying. So let's talk for a moment about fear, because that's a common issue with all of us, right? One, let me speak to the support that you have in this team. And give me 3 more minutes, guys. Let me speak to the support. The systems are in place. This is not a new company. This is not a new, your larger team is an established team of brilliant, like amazing women who have created, these ladies have created $1 million businesses, right? They know what they're doing. And so they provide us with everything that we need. If you've attended a mega party, that's one way that you can utilize a system that's already in place, right? So you invite your friends to that mega party. Some of you said, who are you going to sell to? Well, I think initially you do have to reach out to you need 3 friends, right? 3 friends or a family member. You need to be able to say, I'm trying something. Would you be willing to do this for me, with me? In addition, you're going to have a fun party. And at that, people are going to, just like you did, they're going to fall in love with the jewelry. They're going to want to have some fun. They're going to invite their friends. And before you know it, you are, sharing this jewelry with ladies from Wisconsin and California and Virginia and Texas and all over this gorgeous country, because your initial people will introduce you to that. So that's how 5 years later I'm able to sustain this business, is not because I continue to ask my friends to buy. They're long since, they may still buy from me, but they haven't had a party with me in years and years, because I continue to meet new people from this party plan business. It's just a super easy, fun way. And your stylist can talk to you more about that. Fear is truly the thing that will hold us back in life. And so let me end with my personal story, and probably most personal story that I'll share. So you've kind of heard this really has changed the trajectory of my life. It's changed the financial situation that my family's in. But more than that, I would have, and I didn't know that. I've been able to go on trips and travel, and I didn't know any of that when I made that little $100 decision to join this company. What I really didn't know is that the community of women that would surround me would become so very important to me. And I had no idea that I needed these ladies in my life. Last summer on July 3rd, make this super quick, but on July 3rd, we were at the beach. It was a beautiful, perfect beach day. And my husband was laying on a lawn chair. I went up to make lunch. My sister came up. She said, "Hey, John's down there napping." I said to my son, "Hey, go grab your dad. He's not going to want to nap down there. Bring him up." Caleb calls me from that and says, "Dad's not responding." I take off in my swimsuit and run as fast as I can. By the time I said, "Call 911," when we got down there, I poured some ice on his back. He did say some words to me, but he wasn't making a lot of sense. Long story short, we would get to the hospital there in the little beach town that we were in, and they would tell me that he was having a stroke. My husband is a assistant principal at a school. He is also the most extroverted, talkative person that you could ever meet. And I was watching him lose his ability to speak in front of my eyes. And it was devastating. Everything worked out. We had the opportunity to give him a T&K blocker. I'm sorry, not blocker, clot buster. It busted that stroke up. It reversed his symptoms. And after that, he had very, very few symptoms from his stroke. A few, but nothing like it could have been. What proceeded to happen is, from customers that I call my customer friends, that I would never had an opportunity to be in contact with except through this business, the stylist who we say we're blinging besties or whatever. I'm literally Sarah Catherine's one of them. I'm texting her at 1 a.m. She was up dealing with some of her own issues, which she could share with you at like 1 a.m. These ladies are praying for me. They're praying over me. I could not believe I'm getting messages. It was this outpouring of support and love that I did not know I would need, right? I couldn't have predicted that. I couldn't have predicted that this jewelry business would set me up to have this support to be there in what was probably some of the scariest moments of my life. But I'm a believer, so I believe God did. It makes me sad to think of the opportunities that we can miss when fear holds us back. It makes me sad that I myself know that I've been set up for things before, but out of fear have chosen to not go down that road and have missed some blessings that were meant to be mine. So let me just tell you from a perspective of if this really is something that you feel a nagging, a tug, an interest, just try it. You honestly don't know what's around the corner. Perhaps it will change the trajectory of your life like it has. Perhaps it'll be 6 months of fun, a little extra money, and some gorgeous jewelry. There's truly nothing to fear except what's in our own mind. So that is all I have for tonight. The friendships are phenomenal, just incredible. And so let's end with your code word. I've gone a little over time. I tend to do that. I'm chatty. But your code word tonight is try. Just although Yoda says there is no try, there is only do, right? But we're going to put the code word is try because that's all this is. It's just giving it a try. If this is something that you feel like you have any interest in doing, be sure to talk to your stylist about it so that she can continue to share all the ways that we would love to support you in this amazing jewelry business. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for a few minutes tonight. Fill out that Google Doc and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Your stylist, all of her people are happy to answer those. Have a great night. Good night. Bye.